Hello, Spot Festians. You know what time it is. That's right. We got a big show for you. We got Impact. We got AEW. We got some news out of WWE with a terrible name and a retread of an old-ass gimmick. Not to mention tons of New Japan news and other great little things. This is Total Spot Fest.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Welcome back to Total Spot Fest. I am JJ Brownlee, accompanied as I am every time by my illustrious co-host, Mr. Jamie Faulkner.
Hello.
You've gone back to being illustrious. I don't know how that happened, but
I
boom,
mean,
there you go.
It's maybe the 40 pounds I've lost.
You've up to 40 now. Look at you, man.
41
Good.
to be exact.
Oh,
41.
ooh. Yeah, I had plateaued, and now I'm starting to kind of go back the other way there. So congrats to you, and congrats to you guys for joining in. This is Total Spot Fest on this most illustrious of Prime Day 2021s. Prime Day Part 2. I don't know.
Yes.
It seems like you just Amazon's everywhere, you know. But except for right here, we're not going to get into that. We're going to get into some wrestling. So we want to thank you guys for joining us. If you are watching on YouTube, you can join the conversation. Hit a comment down below. Elsewise, you can hit us up on Twitter to get in touch with us. If you have any questions, you want to give us a comment. It's at Total Spot Fest. I am at JMoney1536. He is at JFaulkner56. And let's just get right into it because we got a good amount of stuff that we want to talk about today.
For sure.
Jamie.
Yeah.
So
let's just start off with the usual. Let's start off with the numbers of last week.
Okay.
We already did NXT, so I'm not going to rehash that, but NXT was up. Okay. So we'll start with Raw. Raw, the previous week did 1.640. This week they're up, actually, at 1.742 million viewers.
shockingly enough, and it's amazing that 1.7 million can be considered a plus for this flagship of a show, right?
A show that used to do 4 million every week consistently, like it was nothing.
Like Blindfolded.
Yeah.
Blindfolded
ridiculous.
Job Squad and Eugene 4 million. Yeah.
Yeah. Like the Mean Streets of Greenwich, those guys, the Mean Street Posse, they were still pulling 4 mil. Like, what is going on? All right.
Crazy.
So SmackDown, what is probably their real flagship show at this point, it was at 1.94 for the previous week. Last week it is down just a slight tad in 1.928 million. So not a huge drop, but a little bit of a drop. There was some sporting events on.
Right, but it was their go-home show for Hell in a Cell, and they actually had the Hell in a Cell with Roman Reigns on SmackDown last Friday, is what I heard.
Which, again, I did not watch the show, but I did watch that match.
You did watch that match? Was it good?
It was a really damn good match.
Roman Reigns has been he for the first time in his whole career, this past year, has been able to wrestle. Like when he had leukemia this last run, he went out, he had chemo, got himself better and healthy, and on his way back, he learned to wrestle apparently because oh my God.
Yeah.
Every match he seems to do, Cesaro match was stellar. It's like all these matches are great.
Yeah, he's not just spear punch.
Spear fist.
Yeah. He actually has more moves. So yeah, no, it was an excellent match. I gotta give the man his props.
Touche.
So then I have Impact numbers.
This is their post Against All Odds show.
Yes.
We're going to talk about it here in just a minute.
So the previous week they did 124. This week they did 110. So a drop of 14K.
I cannot figure it out because if you look at the trends, their post pay-per-view shows are abysmal. Every one of them. I don't know why that is.
That's
I have
weird.
No idea
You'd
why.
think because the last couple of their pay-per-views have been really damn good.
Right. And the last couple of weeks going in, they were at 140. They dipped a little bit, 120, and then but they go to it's weird. I don't know why that is, but anyway, we'll see if that continues.
And then finally we have AEW, who is also on Friday night.
Final Friday. Final
Friday, yes. This isn't a Jason Voorhees movie. It's not the Final Friday, but they were at 487 a 487, and they were up to 552. So that was a decent climb on a Friday night. Pretty damn good.
When you had Stanley Cup semifinals, and I think you had a game to decide, didn't you? Have the
Game 6
the
with
Suns
the Bucks.
or the Bucks?
Bucks, yeah. Bucks
Okay.
won on Friday.
I thought that was the Suns clincher. Maybe that was on Thursday. Okay.
Suns won game 1 on Sunday. So I think they were Thursday. Whatever.
That's whatever. Yeah,
We're not NBAers. We watch.
Yeah.
we
I watch
clips and
a
shit.
very minimal amount of NBA. I used to be
Same.
huge in NBA. You know, I grew up in the 90s. That's in Illinois. Yes, of course.
Michael
you watched
Jordan.
it.
Hello.
Jordan Barkley, Ewing, all that good stuff. And now I'm a hockey guy more. But anywho, it's tough to draw against those. But hey, that's encouraging news. And I did see a thing that said that their demo went up too, to like 0.2, I believe AEW did. So
That's a big
good,
jump.
good on them. Absolutely.
Yeah, when we get into AEW, there's a few key pieces I think that really helped with that. And that crossover into MMA, I think, might have been the piece.
It was, yeah, and they are.
It was
they're
interesting.
they're hitting all the right spots advertising wise. We're going to talk about that in just a
Yeah.
few minutes here. I know you had some stuff you want to talk about with New Japan. There's a couple things I wanted to get to before you do that, though.
Okay,
Jamie.
yeah.
So, first of all, you're going to talk about that. That's right. I was on the tab with New Japan. I was like, oh nope, he's going to talk about that one. Do you like seeing Karrion Kross and Bronson Reed in NXT?
Bronson Reed, yes.
And I know you could care less about Karrion Kross. Scarlett, I know we all like seeing wherever she is. How about seeing them in the main roster? Because it was reported that the three of them were backstage this past Friday on SmackDown. They apparently worked dark matches that were shown then later on WWE Main Event, who I don't know who watches. If you watch WWE Main Event, let us know down below, because I don't know anybody who watches that.
I didn't even know it was still a thing.
It still is. Apparently, Ricochet has been having a feud with Mustafa Ali for the past like 6 weeks on there. Great. Those have been cool matches to watch, maybe. On an actual TV show, you know.
Didn't
just
even
saying.
know. Didn't even
Yeah,
know.
who knew? But they're up there. Because we know that they're going to be pulling up NXT stars here, not too distant future. August 30th is the WWE draft, right?
Yeah.
So Karrion Kross, they love him. Oh, come on, look at him. Look at him. He's what Vince wants. And look at Scarlett. Look at both of them. It's just they walk in the door and he just splooges, you know. So
Yeah, like legit, if Vince had a factory of what he wanted built, that's what he has built.
that's it. Boom. Male, female, give me one of each. Boom. There you go. Perfect. And Bronson Reed, big guy. You know, Vince loves him some big boys. So I hope not. It was also interesting because Adam Cole's been booked odd lately, even though he's been in the main event. You know, he's been booked odd-ish lately. He took some time off when he hurt his wrist and had surgery. There was a tweet out there, WWE on Fox. Their Twitter said something about you know, Pat McAfee and, you know, whatever. And they're continuing. It's continuity for one. I do like this, to continue the feud there. But he tweeted back and it basically gave the insinuation, you know, where I do what I want, where I want, when I want, and Pat sucks. It's kind of like this imp. There's been thought that Adam Cole would be moving up. I hope not, because they can't help but just destroy him. And that, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe he'll have some Seth Rollins-esque push where he'll be able to like survive that transition. But
I hope
maybe
that-
Adam Cole.
Yeah, I mean Adam Cole is a huge star. Vince has been known to destroy big stars, so I don't know.
He absolutely has. And interesting you talk about that, because it was recently reported by WrestlingNews.co. I don't know who that is, but I read this through Wrestle Talk. It says that Vince and the higher ups apparently have made the decision in the past little bit that they're saving the good stuff, quote unquote, for when they get back into live crowds. Okay.
So Money in the Bank.
Right. And beyond SummerSlam, all that stuff. So the good stuff, I don't believe that for a second. This product was bad before. We just put up with it for the longest while. It really has not been that good for the past couple years.
Yeah, really, truly.
But here's the interesting part. The report goes on into some of the improvements that are likely to be made to the WWE product next month, okay? So here's the part that I want to focus on here. Just get your thought, because according to this report, this is the idea of what the improvements are, the good stuff. No, it doesn't involve Brock Lesnar because that's still up in the air, apparently. But
Yep.
it doesn't even. I'm gonna get this quote. It doesn't even let me roll into this. You're immediately gonna go eyes in the back of your head. Okay. John Cena and Edge are expected back by next month to set up their respective matches for SummerSlam, and the Bella Twins are getting ready to return. And there's been talk of The Rock coming back in time for the Survivor Series.
Okay, I'm okay with that.
Becky Lynch was seen trainings at the Performance Center and is believed she'll be returning soon.
Yeah.
I'm good with this last two, whatever, cool. But then you start John Cena, which come on. John Cena, big match John. He put on good wrestling matches, but come on. John Cena and Edge, the Bella Twins. Oh, JJ get hot there. Yeah. So
They're terrible. They've injured more women than they've got injured themselves.
And they are not over at all. They got booed like a son of a bitch at WrestleMania at the most fan-friendly event because people just wanted to see live wrestling. They got booed.
Yeah, because no one likes them. Their show got canceled. They just need to go away.
Oh no, whether you like them or not, people out there listening, the Bella Twins have to be in front of the camera. They have to have attention.
Yeah. 100%.
I don't care. And people say, it's all Nikki. It's not Brie. It's well, they're both there. Just saying.
Yeah, they could go do their own thing, but they don't.
Just saying. So, speaking of doing their own thing, when you talk about the Bella Twins, so the part that gets me hot, as everybody knows, I am very big on the women that were released, the Iconics. I love me some Mickie James. And, of course, everybody knows I got a thing for Ruby Riott. Hey, Ruby. Props to my favorite female wrestler out there. I dig her. She's cool. I just dig the vibe. She's a cool person. And she actually was on an interview this past Friday on the Wrestling Perspective podcast. It's done by Dave Farrell, and he has Petey Williams on there. And then also, it's really cool. He also has Lars Fredrickson from Rancid.
Yeah.
Who's a big wrestling guy. And he actually was the one that brought Ruby on there. Obvious reasons for those of you who don't know or are not familiar with Rancid. Shame on you. Go listen to them. Fantastic. One of my favorite bands. Mm-hmm. But Ruby Soho is one of probably their most famous song. And it's I would say if you play that, most people that grew up in the 90s would be like, I know that. I've heard that, But was the inspiration for Ruby's name of sorts. Ruby Riott, Ruby Soho. So anyway, and they became friends because he's a wrestling fan, and of course she just geeked out, So he actually invited her on. Now Ruby's not a person that usually does interviews and stuff. Like Tommy End immediately was on his wife's Twitch. It's like, fuck it, let's just go, right? Cassie and Jesse, the Iconics, they're being very careful, but they're gonna do plenty of of all the different stars, they'll be on different levels. Ruby's definitely more of the ones that's like, I don't really want to do the podcasting interview as little as possible, right? That's kind of her shtick. But she decided to do this because, Lars is the guy from Rancid. So, but it was a very interesting interview. If you haven't listened to it, go check it out. I highly recommend it. That is the Wrestling Perspective podcast. I know it's a different wrestling podcast, but we're all in the same wrestling family together. So go check them out. They're on YouTube. They're on same places you're listening to us. They're there too. But it's a cool interview. She talked about the creative process, talked about being excited for the future. She made mention of things that definitely make you think that she's going to go to AEW. And I say that because she kept harking back to, they said, you can't really tell us, I know, 90 Day No Compete, all stuff, but what are you excited for yourself in the future, all these things? And she talked a lot about creative freedom and being able to kind of do her own thing and make her character and kind of all these things that everybody harks on. This is why we go to AEW, right? definitely a lot of that in there. And, Petey, of course, said he'd love to see her in Impact. And she mentioned some of the Impact women that she'd like to see face and all that stuff. I think she'd be great in either, to be honest with you. Then my favorite part about this, okay, it's the only reason I really bring this up, other than the fact that I got to find a way to talk about Ruby Riott every single podcast, is that they said, well, we have some suggestions for names for you here. She said, well, I'm working on some too. I want to hear what you guys have. And there were some good ones there. There was like Ruby Vandal and, Ruby Rotten and, some cool ones that kind of came about, right?
Yeah.
But they all got superseded immediately by Lars, who just goes, well, I'm going to start here and give some out. I don't want to spoil this, but I know a couple guys. Why don't you just go with Ruby Soho? I mean, we'll give you the music anyway. And it's like, she immediately just like started like, oh my God, no. He goes, no, literally, group text in 10 minutes. I'll give you the rights. It's fine, and
what?
Yeah. And she did say that she's not going to be Heidi Lovelace.
Okay.
That she didn't pick that name. She didn't like that name. And people either say Lovelace or Loveless, that she doesn't like that name. She never did, apparently. So she wanted to stick with Ruby something. So that's where that spawned this whole talk. So if at Double or Nothing, it's the women's casino battle royal, and all of a sudden here comes the Joker card, and you just hear Destination
Ruby Soho. Oh, dude, I lose my mind.
Good. I don't care what she names herself, but that, yeah, I thought you'd get a kick out of that because you like that '90s punk like I do. So yeah, I thought it was cool. Lars is a generally good guy, so that was awesome.
That's hilarious. Like, hey, you have the rights. Here, hold on.
Oh, he's like, oh no, you got them. Don't even worry about it. Here, I'll tell you. It's like, and all the other guys are like, should we even say our? I mean, why even go further? He even said that he gave her permission to call herself Ruby Soho as the wrestler.
That's awesome.
Lars, you're a good man. Anywho, so those are some of the bits that I have here. I did have a couple little bits as well, just real fast. Apparently, no, I should talk about that one later when we talked about AEW. Tony Khan apparently turned down the idea for the Thunderdome for AEW. They approached him at the beginning of the pandemic, and they same thing with the video board. He definitely turned it down. He wanted to have a more authentic-ish feel, even though it's like just the extras and wrestlers to start with. He felt that was a better choice.
Still
I
great.
agree.
I agree too.
I agree 100%, especially for their product, and the Iconics are probably going to be called by something else, of course, even though they could just do some eyes, extra eyes, less eyes, right, and kind of get around it.
Yeah,
they did trademark the Inspiration with 2 eyes.
Yes, I saw that.
So it's an interesting take on it, but I dig the idea. And congratulations go out to one of my favorite wrestlers from Impact, who is going to be talked about primarily when we get to my Impact review, the Draw, the Death Machine, Sami Callihan. He's got great nicknames. Got engaged this weekend to, I don't know if you know this, but he's going out with Jessica Havoc.
Oh. Well, go him.
They got engaged this weekend, and I felt that's awesome. That's great for them. Of course, the internet did what the internet we told them not to do last week. They immediately started fat shaming him or her through him. He's in the BBW. It's like, fuck you. We talked about this last week. Stop it. Stop it.
Just be better, you damn keyboard warriors.
They're happy. I'm happy for them. I think that's awesome. Good on you guys. So.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
So there'll be an Impact wedding, but not an Impact wedding, because every wedding on Impact is a shit show.
Fair. Yeah. Don't do it there.
Yeah, if you don't want to talk about Google Rosemary's Wedding, it was hilarious. It ended with Tommy Dreamer crying up to the gods. It was funny. It was funny as hell.
That sounds amazing.
You need to Google it. You had some stuff you want to talk about, New Japan, some other things, right?
Yeah. So I have some New Japan here. So New Japan, one of the first big things I want to talk about is they announced their very first show in the United States in over a year. It's actually going to be right around 18 months. So they announced Resurgence and it's slated for August 14th in Los Angeles, California, at the Torch at LA Coliseum. So it's gonna be at the that's on the outside of the Coliseum. So that's pretty damn cool. The last time they were in the United States was New Beginning, which was in February of 2020.
Right before lockdown.
Everything went down.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, wow. That is awesome.
So a few of the people that have been named
what I was
to go there. So it looks like John Moxley will be there, the
Of
IWGP United States Heavyweight Champion, the never open weight champion of Switchblade, Jay White, baby, which makes me happy.
Yeah.
The strong open weight champion, Filthy Tom Lawler, and the Good Brothers, Finn Juice, Shota Umino, and TJP. On their little thing, though, like on their whatever the hell you call that, their image.
Little promo image, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
It does have Leo Rush on there, which is kind of sad.
It is kind of sad, but it does also have Young. What's his face?
Darren Young.
Darren Young. Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, it would have been great to see like TJP versus Leo Rush. Hello, please, but
Yeah. No,
I really hope Al Phantasmo's with them in some fashion, but.
I suspect there's gonna be some other ones. If the Good Brothers are there, this would be a hell of a time to have God just roll up in there and do some damage.
I know you're still going that long slow play for that elite versus elite angle, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But wait, there's more on that
Ooh.
because New
I
Japan.
just segue you?
You sure as shit did.
Oh.
So, New Japan has also confirmed that the Good Brothers are back, and they are going to be a part of the Tag Team Turbulence tournament in July. So, right now, it's starting July 16th. These are the confirmed teams.
Okay.
They have a few more to announce.
Okay.
So, Clark Connors and TJP. The LA Dojo, that's the DKC and Kevin Knight. Don't know who they are. West Coast Wrecking Crew of Jarrell Nelson and Royce Isaacs. I do know who that Royce Isaacs is, at least.
yeah, I know him.
Here we go. Yuji Nagata and Ren Narita.
Okay.
Fred Yehi and Wheeler Yuta. Violence Unlimited, which is Brody King and Chris Dickinson.
Yeah, they are. I've seen them wrestle.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Team
Love me some
Filthy,
Brody.
which is JR Kratos and Danny Limelight.
Okay. Yeah.
And then the Good Brothers, Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows. Those are the ones who have been officially named. After the tournaments like this, they were going to have, the champion, and then they will be able to go
So they'll
champion.
go after the champions. So because I know that is this for. I'm trying to remember because there's 18,000 titles in New Japan. Phantasma's going after the light heavyweight tag titles, right?
Yes, they will have.
So this,
if they
but
win,
this is going to be for the
IWGP Tag Team Champions.
so which is basically the top,
Yes.
the heavyweight, if you would. Okay.
Yes. So they still have,
So
have to
confusing
announce.
all the titles they have.
So they have to announce 2 more teams.
Okay.
God, let's make it happen.
Definitely. I think that might be one of those like day of we got one more, we don't know who it's going to be, and then bam, they show up.
The Gorillas.
That would be awesome.
Get
Cool.
those drums. Yes. I want that in my life. So there's that. I do have a bit of AEW news before we get into AEW.
Sure.
I would like
do
to
it. Yeah.
I would like to send some congratulations out there to Cody Rhodes and Brandy Rhodes on the birth of their daughter, Liberty.
Yeah. Which, okay, congratulations indeed. But I do find it slightly ironic. Her name is Liberty, and he did this whole like big monologue about a month ago, like he cured racism and all that, So
Yeah.
just saying. But no, congratulations. It's like they're well deserved.
And then once again, John Moxley has beat him because he had his baby first. So both those guys have had children, and the crazy thing about it was Cody was on AEW on Friday, and his daughter was born on Thursday. Like, that's dedication.
I know. Well, we'll talk about that when we get to AEW. I have some thoughts about that. Anywho.
Okay. My last bit of news. Actually, I got two more. My last bit is WWE.
It's
So,
okay. It's okay.
you know how we talked about Piper Nivens?
Yes.
And I said that they were thinking about changing her name.
Mm-hmm.
Well, damn
And
it.
they did.
They definitely did. Her new in-ring name, ladies and gentlemen, is Dewdrop. It's one word. Dewdrop.
And not how you'd expect it either.
DOUDROP.
Maybe it's just our country asses. I'm like, Dewdrop, DEW. No.
Yeah. Nope. DOU. Like duo almost. Duo drop. Except for the O and the U are flipped. That's it.
It's because she's Scottish, they gotta name it. I don't know.
I don't know. She's Piper Niven. Okay.
Yes, and we will continue to call her Piper Niven.
That's it.
We have more respect for her than this.
Dewdrop. Because
you-
here in about 6 weeks, she won't even exist on there anymore because they'll have Eva Marie turn on her or something else, and then she'll be in catering along with everybody else.
It's. I actually read. I didn't watch Rob. I did read a couple highlights earlier on tonight while I was like trying to like wean myself off of Amazon, right? So they're doing qualifiers for Money in the Bank. And because there's so few women on the main roster, they're doing tag team matches where both the people qualify.
Yes.
It's freaking stupid. And so what they did, it was Asuka and Naomi versus Piper Niven, not calling her the other thing. Piper Niven and Eva Marie, right?
Yeah.
And so apparently, this is what the recap I read from Wrestling Inc. was, is that starts off the match with Eva Marie. She immediately tags out. So here comes Piper Niven, and she does the whole match, right? She's doing the whole thing, and she's doing a good job of it. I would have liked to actually watch her because I do enjoy her in the ring. She's a great competitor.
Same.
Came to the end, she pulled a big move, got rid of Asuka, pulled a big move, and then pulled her Naomi kind of away from the ropes over. It was nearish to their corner. Blind tag by Eva Marie. Piper looks upset by this, right? She then goes for the pinfall. 1, 2. She apparently, this is what the review said, that she was like astonished that it was a 2 and couldn't contain herself. During which time she made a hot tag over to Asuka, I think it was, or came to one of the two, something or another. Anyway, it came to the point where she was trying to then get out of the ring, Eva Marie was, and Piper dropped down in disappointment and left her there, basically. She got rolled up for the pinfall. So they've already fallen out.
Wow. That did not take long.
It did not. And Eva Marie, if you're counting, has been in WWE with all this fanfare. I can call a pinfall attempt a move, right?
Yeah, sure.
She's done one move. One move.
That's it.
Well, she did a pinfall attempt. It was a 2 count, and then she got rolled up after she was complaining to the referee. So yes, that was her extent of wrestling action this past
About as much as what she did last time.
It's for anybody who thought this would be any different than the shit show that was Eva Marie before. Shame on you. Shame. I'm not pulling out the belt. Just shame.
Yes, shame. And then actually, nice little segue again, sir, because the second of the tag team matches was Alexa Bliss and her old teammate of Nikki Cross coming together to face Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. Well, Alexa came out to new theme music and a new theme, new entrance, like a whole new look and everything. But the weird thing is, and this is what I kind of hinted at the very beginning, was Nikki Cross has got a new gimmick, and it is god awful. So she is
weird.
legit
It
a
is weird.
retread of Molly Holly, of Super Molly, you know. So she's wearing gold and purple or gold and blue, I think.
Golden blue.
Gold
At
and
least
blue.
Twitter images I saw as golden blue.
Yeah. So then she's got the eye band like Leonardo, and and she's got blue makeup around her eyes, and then. Yeah, she wears a cape and all the
superhero.
shit. It does all the same poses as Molly Holly. But the funny thing is Molly Holly's working as a producer backstage. So I wonder if it's a nod to her, you know, just because of everything that she's done. She's finally getting a little bit of, you know, due credit there. But still,
if it's a one night nod to her, great. If this is her gimmick, some in between of Molly Holly's like super heroine and you know, Gregory Helms's, you know, at least Nikki Cross is on TV.
that's true.
I don't know what else to say about this than that. That's as positive as I'm going to be.
It's
So.
just messed up. My God, like that is one of the old gimmicks that does not need to come back.
Never.
ever.
I've never seen superhero work in wrestling. Some Mexican wrestling,
Lucha
kind
Libre, yeah.
kind of. It's got to
Yeah.
be done. I mean, in modern day, it's got to be done in a very astute manner, but it fits in the lucha world a little bit better. I've never seen it, never done well in America.
Yeah, I mean, superheroes in training, that didn't even work. And I thought that was hilarious back when I was a kid. They had the blue meanie, you know?
The Blue Meanie, I mean, that was a little different, but
Yeah.
but it was interesting is too because you know that all preceded. I just want to say, you know, before we move on to AEW and Impact, that there was a Hell in a Cell last night as well. Yes, Hell in a Cell, the pay-per-view was on Sunday, and in that you had Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre again in Hell in a Cell. Was it a good match? Probably was about the same as their last 30 matches they've had together over the past 6 months.
Yeah.
Sure, it was probably good enough. Who cares? Interestingly enough, though, like we said, there was that Hell in a Cell with Roman and Rey Mysterio on SmackDown, and from what I read, USA, NBC Universal executives were not happy with the fact that Fox was getting a Hell in a Cell match for free, basically. Mm-hmm. And there seems to be a lot more heat between the two as the numbers have dwindled on these ratings for both shows. Fox and NBC are definitely getting more and more picky, and it's interesting. So there was a Hell in a Cell match last night as well, and it was Bobby Lashley doing two Hell in a Cell matches in a row. Totally just shooting on the whole concept of a Hell in a Cell match, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, seriously, against Xavier Woods. And I watched a little bit of it, to be honest with you, because I do love Xavier Woods. I love the New Day. Kofi's getting a title shot at Money in the Bank, by the way.
Yep,
he's
I saw
not
that.
going to win, but he's getting a title shot. And it was entertaining, but still, it's just like, this is supposed to be one of the most brutal matches, right?
Mm-hmm.
2 and 2 nights. Whatever.
Yeah, pretty bad. So let's talk about something good. Let's talk about some
Let's
Impact,
go good.
man.
Let's go good. So Impact, like we said, numbers were down a little bit. It was the post Against All Odds show. And they're right around a month out from, well, for the time that it was shown, it was on the 17th, literally a month out from Slammiversary, which we're watching. Absolutely, Jamie. We're going to,
Yes.
you know, we're
And
going to.
Belt, we're gonna figure it out.
We'll figure it out. I'll get some cardboard. Now I'm going back to 9-year-old JJ with taking his mom's Avon cardboard boxes and making belts out of it. Yes, I did that. So this was like I said. So there's lots of setup for Slammiversary. There's only a couple real things that I really wanted to focus on. Yeah, some okay matches here. TJP versus Black Taurus opened the show. TJP got the win, and then immediately after, Moose comes out. So at the very beginning, they did their little package, because the pay-per-view just happened. They did a little package of the pay-per-view, right? And then there was the fallout, Sami Callihan getting fired by Don Callis. What's going to happen? And then here's Moose knocking on Scott D'Amore's door, and he's like, doesn't have time for him, basically. And he's like, oh, you don't have time? I'll make you have time for me. So he goes out, he attacks TJP after the match, puts a chair in the middle of the ring, and tells Scott he's not leaving until he comes out and talks to him. He's going to hijack the show. Well, that lasts for a minute or two, and then Chris Sabin comes out of nowhere to attack Moose then. So they're setting up that's going to be their feud for Slammiversary for Moose. If you're wondering what they're going to do with it, they're going to do Sabin versus Moose. That'd be a fantastic match. I'm just calling it right now.
Yes, it will.
And then they announced the day before, the day of, I can't remember, but they announced before the actual show that at Slammiversary, the stipulation match is Ultimate X for the X Division.
Yes.
Josh Alexander, Rohit Raju, Ace Austin, Chris Bay, Trey Miguel, Petey Williams. Give me all of this. Make this a 45-minute match. This is going to be, oh my God, this should be amazing. If you've never seen an Ultimate X match, go to Impact's YouTube, watch some. Watch them with, Chris Sabin and AJ Styles and Samoa Joe and Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian, and just, oh my God, some of the matches are just, there's a truss system above the ring in the shape of an X. So each of the corners, there's a truss going across. And in the middle of that, they hang something, usually a giant X, where, if you get the X, you get a X title shot, or they put the belt up there for the national title match. So there's no ladders. You have to go up the truss. You have to find a way up there. It's going to be great. It's going to be so good. So,
yes. I'm glad they're bringing it back.
right. And for those who are like, just get a ladder, climb them, it's like, no, that's the thing. That's the one thing everything's legal except for ladders. You can't have ladders. It's great.
Yeah.
Alexander then had a match against Madman Fulton, and then there was interference by Ace Austin and Rohit Raju. They're next couple of weeks, you're going to see some combination of the 6 of these, along with their kind of, their compeers, right? And Madman Fulton and Shira. They're gonna get involved. They're gonna be going back and forth. But Ultimate X is gonna be fantastic. Kimberly and Susan, apparently Deonna Purrazzo's done with them. Okay, well, I don't know what that means because they keep disappointing her, so she's distancing herself from them, and that's not a good idea. I hope this is for a Su Yung turn.
Oh, bring back Su Yung. I love the Su Yung gimmick.
Su Yung was a fantastic gimmick. Susan's fighting Deonna Purrazzo next week on Impact, so who knows?
Let's go.
You had the debut of Deonna Purrazzo's real-life husband, Steve Macklin, formerly known as Steve Cutler from Forgotten Sons fame. And he squashed somebody. I don't know who it was. Tenelle Dashwood kept going on with her with their feud. It was Rachel Ellering this time that Caleb kind of cost the win for, and Tenelle got the win. Excuse me. Then you had Fire and Flavor backstage doing a promo, and there was a weird nod. They're setting up it's going to be Rosemary and Havoc going to challenge them, right? They're setting all this up. They've been teasing Rosemary and Havoc being a tag team for the past few weeks, right? And they're setting all that up, and they kind of beat them up, and then Havoc dumped one of them, I think it was Kiera Hogan, into a big trash can there. And as she's getting out, she's like, "Oh God, what is this?" And she puts up a trash bag with the word Mickey on it. So they're dropping hints. They do this every year. They're dropping hints about who's going to debut. Somebody's debuting at Slammiversary. Happens every year. So the main event was Rhino versus Kojima. If Kojima win, him and Eddie Edwards would get a title shot. He did win. They're getting a tag title shot next week. So
nice.
Yeah, good for them. It was actually a pretty poor match, to be honest with you. But that's not why you stuck around to the end. You stuck around to the end to see Sami Callihan. What is going on with this? And it did not disappoint. So it starts with Sami Callihan in the ring. He's yelling and screaming, Bloody Murder, right? Scott D'Amore comes out and is like, okay, Sammy, I got your back. Trust me. Let me take care of this. Finally gets him calmed down. Sammy's moved into a kind of pseudo Stingish vibe too, right? He does the whole like blackout, appear, disappear thing. So he's and it's all like this kind of this hacker gimmick, which much better than the Mustafa Ali hacker. So anyway, he's like, fine. We'll see. We'll talk about this. We'll see what you do. If this doesn't get fixed, all hell's gonna break loose. Whatever. He pulls his phone out of his back pocket, presses a button, blackout, and then the lights come on and he's gone. It's like, I like that. That's good.
That is cool.
It's a little different take on it, And then Don comes out and goes, see, I told you can't trust these wrestlers. He's been doing promos the whole night, Don has. Interviews, talking about how he's the good businessman. He looks at wrestlers as nothing more than numbers on a spreadsheet. They're peons. They're below him. He does the hard bit. Scott's too soft on these guys, wants to be their friend. He's basically setting up this whole angle, right? So they're yelling, screaming, and arguing, kind of getting into it, the two of them. And then here comes Tommy Dreamer from the back. And the whole night, there's supposed to be an Anthem Entertainment representative coming there. Anthem Entertainment's the company, of course, that owns Impact Wrestling. And they're going to be sending a representative from the board of directors to, consult with them on this. So Tommy comes out. Don tries to dismiss him. Oh, you're just another wrestler. Get out, right? He goes, no, I'm the one who the board sent from Anthem. And then he starts building up this big firing about you being too close to wrestlers. That's the problem. There's been personal feelings have gotten into this. And Scott's just seeing the writing on the wall and he's getting mad, right? And Don is in the meantime like throwing in little quips here and there, like, you can't do this, come on. But at the same time going to Scott goes, it's okay, you'll find something else, don't worry about it. Just throwing. Don was fantastic. And then he does the swerve. That's why I'm here. And Don, you're fired. And so he fires. He reinstates Sammy. The match is on between Sammy and Kenny at Slammiversary, and he fires Don Callis right there, which technically he had been demoted or he'd been taken off of being an EVP. His contract expired like a month ago, so he moved to be in talent anyway. But yeah, he's kayfabe fired now from being an EVP. So.
It's awesome.
It's nice because on the way out, this is my favorite part, and then we'll move to AEW. On the way out, Don's just yelling, screaming, bloody murder, right? And he calls Tommy Dreamer a Bruce Pritchard stooge.
Oh, wow.
on live TV. Or on cable TV, I should say.
Yeah.
And then Tommy lets him know there's a garbage bag waiting for him in the back with his name on it.
They did it again. Oh my god.
They just keep doing it. So it was a decent show. It was. I mean, I can see why it was 110. There's really only a couple things worth seeing here. The matches were. I mean, the TJP Black Taurus was probably the best match of the night. Steve Macklin debuted in the squash. Tanil and Rachel was entertaining enough, but it was buried in the middle of the card, and the main event was like, eh. So it was. I'm gonna give it a snooze fest just for the fact that the Sami Callihan stuff was so good. I'm a big fan of that. But it was a decent, that's still better than probably what was on this past Monday. So that's.
Yeah.
I mean, Dewdrop. Anywho, so that was Impact.
Jesus.
What? Let's talk. What happened last Friday on AEW? Let's talk about that for a little bit.
So it was a good show. I mean,
it is an interesting show. I'm gonna say that.
Yeah, I was in and out on it. I'm not even gonna lie. I had some other family things going on and whatnot, but I was able to pay attention to some of it. So the very first match. Oh, by the way, it starts off with a match, and it is the match I think everybody was wanting to see. So I think that was the big grabber there. Mm-hmm. It was the MMA rules cage fight of Jake Hager with Chris Jericho in his corner versus Wardlow with Shawn Spears in his corner. Mm-hmm. Interesting there. I figured it would be somebody different, maybe Tully Blanchard or something like that, but nope. Big Shawn Spears, the chairman of the board himself. This match was weird.
It was. It was done in actual. I mean, they had okay. It was at Daly's place. They had the actual 6-sided cage, not an octagon. You know, but it was official. It was built up for an MMA thing, right? And this is where I was getting on earlier about Cody Rhodes, because after this match, not getting too far ahead, it was back at Daly's place with the same thing. And so one of these was pre-taped. Either the MMA fight was pre-taped, or what I think the rest of the show was pre-taped, because there's no way they could have. They obviously couldn't have switched about that live. There's no way. No.
Yeah, and then after watching Being the Elite, I feel like this match was the live match and everything else was taped.
Right, because I can see them doing this and doing some other stuff along with it, like a little, just a little side thing, right? You know.
Yeah.
But it was fine in my book. I'm not big on MMA, so I didn't really get into this personally.
I like MMA. I am a fan
Okay.
of the mixed martial arts. It was good. It was 2 rounds. Like that's all it lasted was 2 rounds. So they did the
Right.
round format, which was kind of nice instead of just a typical wrestling match.
Yeah, 3 rounds, and whoever you had there was going to be no decision. You had to win by knockout or submission or ref stoppage.
So some of the big takeaways for me for this was Wardlow botched a power bomb into the cage, which I thought was kind of funny. It looked like legit looked like Hagar slipped out of his arm, and so he's kind of just this little, but then he totally made up for it by hitting a 6 step-up Hurricane Rana. I have became such a huge fan of the step-up Hurricane Rana. I think it looks so silky smooth and kick-ass, because I like Hurricane Ranas anyway, but that step-up where you get one leg up and boom, boom, and it's just real quick. It's pretty.
Yeah, it's a great move, and the fact that one of these two could pull it off is like, wow.
So the finish was Hagar does a Uranagi, Wardlow down and locks him in a headlock triangle, and then he's able to pass out. He does not tap out; he passes out.
Right, so it's ref's decision, and then it's expected. If Hagar didn't win this, the man who's legitimately undefeated in real MMA fights,
Yeah.
something's wrong. I mean, something's wrong in the world. So yeah.
Yeah, so post-fight, Hagar actually offers Wardlow a fist bump, but then Spears comes in.
Almost does it.
Yeah.
And Wardlow almost does it.
Yeah, then right
There's
after
your
that,
crack.
Spears attacks him. Jericho comes in, and
And then you get MJF comes in
then
with a cheap
MJF
shot.
comes in. So yeah, then
Sammy comes in, and Sammy gets the big pop, and it's
well, let's get hold on. Let's before we get to Sammy.
okay.
So Jericho, he has the fake arm brace on, and MJF yanks it off of him. He does the Salt of the Earth armbar on him and all that good stuff.
Sure.
Well, the person who breaks it up is none other
Oh,
than
I forgot about that.
Dean Malenko, the man of 1,000 holds, and he is a legend. He's battling Parkinson's, but he is like, I love me some Dean
Nobody
Malenko.
does not like Dean Malenko who's met him.
Right.
It's one of those. It's like everybody loves Dean Malenko.
Yeah. So he's right there. He breaks it up. MJF looks like he's going to hit him. Then he's like, "No, I'm not going to do it." And then he straight pop Dean Malenko right in the face. Typical MJF move. And just got the super heat. Then here comes Sammy. And Sammy clears the cage, if you will.
I forgot about the Malenko angle, which was great. Because, I mean, the announcers, half the fun whenever MJF is there is just, hearing, JR and Tony just dig into him. And then they hit Dean Malenko and, oh, what the hell? Oh, they just went in deep. It was great.
Yeah, you don't hear a man with Parkinson's. Oh man, it was so good. Well, then right after that, it has been announced that MJF and Sammy are gonna go at it. If you follow them on Instagram,
Ooh.
Twitter, whatever,
It is
if you
gold.
don't, you need to. Oh
Shit.
my God.
Randy Orton even like is liking these things. He's like it is gold. Like, did you see the tweet today that was put out there of like a 9-year-old or 10-year-old MJF in the muddy pants? Oh, and Sammy just lost it. It was great. These two. We've said for a long time, the future of AEW, like the Rock, Triple H, Austin of AEW is MJF, Sammy Guevara, and Jungle Boy, right? Those are going to be your three pillars in 10 years from now. They're starting early because these two are, it's going to be great.
Yeah, so that was just great. I'm sorry. Like, it's just that whole thing. You just need to do it. So, okay.
Just check it out.
So after that, Frankie Kazarian's with Eddie Kingston and Penta. Kaz cites a verse from the Bible about vengeance and mentions that he doesn't always agree with the Lord, blah, blah, blah. It was good. And then, of course, Eddie tells them just, pray to their God because their asses are theirs, like in typical Eddie Kingston fashion.
It was a great little promo to get him ready. There was a lot of promos. I'll be honest with you. The rest of the show kind of like the main event was great, but it's promo heavy. You could tell that this is the last Friday show. They were definitely doing filler.
Oh, 100%.
I'm just saying. Although one of the filler matches I will love, and I'll tell you about it when we get there.
Yeah. So then Team Taz does another promo. I'm done.
Man.
Yep. We're passing that. Then there was a handicap match right after that, which was the Men of the Year, which is what All Ego, Ethan Page, and Scorpio Sky
I like the name. I
do too. Like, it's pretty solid.
I like their shtick. I like their kind of like the bad entrance video. I dig it. I like it.
Yes. So they come out. It's actually a little bit more competitive than what I was expecting, and I was expecting somebody to come out and make the save for Darby, but no one did.
Nope.
Page, the one big thing is the Ego's Edge. Did you see that?
I did, yeah.
Where he threw him in the damn stands?
Yep. I mean,
like a lawn dart.
I mean, Darby Allin's got a penchant for taking big bumps anyway, and he's small, so he gets a lot of bumps thrown at it. But yeah, he just, especially with like they are just hamming up this whole like, Page and Allen, history thing, and just he threw him down a flight of stairs on top of the stadium, and now he lawn darted him into the crowd. It's just it's just going to town. It was just, hey, cool, whatever.
So Page hits another Ego's Edge. 1, 2, 3. The Men of the Year are victorious.
Yeah, no surprise there.
No surprise there. Next was Orange Cassidy with the Best Friends coming out to the Pixies. Where's My Mind? Versus Cesar Bononi with the Wingmen, which I think is a funny ass name for all those guys.
I like them too. And here's the point where I'm putting my pen up because I'm getting involved in this match here. All right.
Okay.
Can I take over this match here? Because I know you don't really care about this. I know.
No.
First of all, Cesar Bononi, great human being.
Yes.
Fantastic human being. If you haven't been following, his wife had cancer. There's all this stuff here, and then he put a GoFundMe out, and he was looking for just like a couple grand to help him cover bills. They're from Brazil. They had to bring their his sister-in-law in. She had COVID. She had to delay because they had chemo treatment and all. Anyway, so he put out there just looking for like a little bit of assistance on a GoFundMe, right? And then of course AEW got a hold of it, and then they passed it out there. Jericho gave 1,000, Daniels gave 500, this and that. Tony Khan gave 5,000. Then he said, "Fuck your goal," and gave another 5,000. And then, this group of people are fantastic. Okay, I'm just gonna say that. But so generally good human being. He's still green. As far as a wrestler, he's been wrestling for about 2 years, give or take, I think. He was in NXT briefly, and then he's been over here for, I don't know, about 8 months, give or take, something like that. Yeah. So maybe 3 years. He used to play football. Yes, American football from Brazil. I know, it's weird. But he's still green, and he's getting better. This is not a horrendous match. I'm gonna say that. He's getting a lot better.
Yes.
The wingman shtick, though, because it's like this like weird, odd group of things. It started off with Pretty Peter Avalon, and then he got Cesar Bononi, because Cesar Bononi basically looks like, or sorry, Peter Avalon looks like you took Cesar Bononi and left him in put him in the dryer on high or something. He looks like a mini Cesar Bononi.
It has the '80s movie Twins vibe. Hardcore.
Yes, and Peter Avalon, 'cause, as a wrestler, he's not good. He's actually a decent wrestler. I've seen him wrestle some pretty good matches.
Yeah.
On the independent scene on YouTube, you can watch some of his stuff he's done. He's done some intergender matches. He's done some good stuff before. He's no Dean Malenko, but good enough. His character work, though, I love, and. At the end of the day, there's not a chance in hell that Orange Cassidy was going to lose this match, and he didn't. He won the match. He won it with a series of orange punches to each of the members of the Wingmen, who was just weird mishmatch. You have Cesar Bononi, you have Peter Avalon, you have Dolph's younger brother, Dolph Ziggler's younger brother,
Nick Nemeth.
Nick Nemeth,
Yeah.
and then you have JD Drake, who's like the weird country guy.
It doesn't make sense with him.
It
I love
doesn't
it,
make any sense. I give him this like weird and Nick Nemeth. I give him a makeover on BDE. Anyway, it's hilarious. They're great on BDE, by the way. They're great on BDE. So ends up orange punches to pretty much everybody. Orange punch to Cesar Bononi. 1, 2, 3 gets the win. And then meme of the week happens because here comes Peter Avalon. There's like 40 people in the stands because they pre-taped it, right? And there's just like the extras are out there from AEW. And he takes his hair tie off so his hair's all flowing. And he goes down to Peter Avalon like it's on the battlefield of the movie Glory and just going, no, holding him in his holding him in his breast, just like Cesar just died or something. It was hilarious. There's great memes out there. He's been photoshopped already in everything from Titanic to everything it's great.
That's awesome.
So
That's
anyway,
good.
this is one of my moments of the night. Just I love the shtick.
So we're gonna go right after that. We're gonna get into 2 promos in a row.
Just go through them, man. We don't need to dig into these at all.
All right, yeah. So Marvez is trying to get word backstage of Jungle Boy, but who pulls up? It's Kenny Omega and Michael Nakazawa and Don Callis, and they talk a bunch of shit. Yeah, whatever.
So whatever.
Yep,
Next Saturday, it's your main event. We got it. Cool.
Yep. The Hardy family office, worst name ever, is with Marvez after the break. Hardy runs down Christian Cage, who comes to brawl, but the HFO, lock him in the equipment cage. Hardy offers him a check to leave wrestling, which he also continued that whole promo thing on BTE today, on Monday, which I want to talk about BTE once we get to the end. Because I think there is some heavy foreshadowing. I really, really do.
I have not watched BTE, but I did see the title of it, so I think I know what you're talking about. And that's fine. We'll talk about it. That's cool.
Okay.
You can spoil BTE. It's fine.
All right. So there's that. So match 4 of the night was Cody Rhodes and Brock Anderson, not Lesnar.
Brock! We're doing double gimmicks on a guy. Brock Anderson! Anderson.
Yeah. With Arn, his dad, which he looks exactly like his dad. It's scary.
It's
kind of uncomfortable, to be honest. Versus Aaron Solo and QT Marshall. Marshall. Brock Anderson and Cody Rhodes do get the win. Brock hits a jackknife pin for the 1, 2, 3. Does one of his dad's old moves.
And this is why I said this has had to be pre-taped because literally the day before his wife gave birth. So
yeah. So the only thing about this match when I watched it, I do not remember seeing this because it's already been like forever ago. Did Brock do a spine buster?
I don't remember. I'm not gonna lie. A good amount of this show, I kind of was. I was watching it, but I zoned in and out of it.
Yeah.
So I don't remember one. He had some decent moves. He looked decent enough.
But I would expect him to do a spine buster because Arn was like the master of the
He
spine
was.
buster.
I don't remember seeing one. He might have done one. I don't know.
Maybe he's not doing one yet because he's not at his dad's level, which it
It's
might
his
not
first
ever
match.
be. Yeah.
I think it's his first match. Period.
Yes, first match ever. All right, so after this we have 3 promos. Jake Roberts and Lance Archer are in a beat up warehouse ball. Okay.
Lance Archer's getting close to snapping. We all know it.
Yes.
Thank God. That's gonna be great.
Again.
It was actually a decent promo, but yeah.
Then we get to probably the best promo of the night, though.
This is what made the night for me right here.
So there was a sit down with Andre El Idolo.
Andrade.
What did I say?
You said Andre.
Oh, Andrade El Idolo. On why he chose AEW and all that stuff. And it was really good.
It starts off with JR calling and say Andrade the Idol. And he goes, El Idolo.
Yes. El Idolo.
like JR's not going to say that right. Come on, man.
No, he was going to destroy it. And then JR brings up his relationship with Vicky and talks about, their bond, which I thought was really, really good.
Uh-huh.
But the big piece for me was, Andrade legit goes, I'm here for opportunity and to win titles. And he straight calls out the TNT title.
Yeah,
instantly.
he laid out a path. And usually, you'd be like, oh, I just want some titles. What's it going to be? No. He's just like, burp, this is what's a...
Yeah, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this, and then I get this.
Yeah, he said, I deserve a shot at the TNT title, and the AEW title is on his radar after that.
Yes.
And I'm just like, good on you. I like that.
Yeah. So, big fan of Andrade. He has his first official NXT shirt, or not NXT, damn, AEW shirt already out.
There you go. I'm not a big fan of the shirt.
Either am I. No, I like his other white one.
His independent stuff he had was great.
Yeah.
You can get that on Pro Wrestling Tees too. Same diff. But he ends it, though, by saying that him and Vicky have a surprise.
Yes, they have a surprise. And the rumor is saying it's another talent. And
Thea Trinidad.
Thea Trinidad is the main rumor.
Everybody's like, it's her, especially with the assumption that Tommy End is going to be going over to AEW.
Because of the creative freedom.
And let's be honest, we talked about can't miss guys. Samoa Joe was that guy. Well, he went back to NXT. Tommy End's number 2, right there on the list with him. So he's now available. Go after Tommy End, grab him, get him.
And so let's just talk about Tommy End because WWE's been trying to get with him, but the word on the street is he's already said he's going to AEW and stop. And they're throwing big time money because they have buyer's remorse or fire remorse, basically. Like, we made a mistake. And he's like, nah, you guys are going to tell me what to do. I'm going to get buried. Why? I can go there and do what I want.
Like if they would have instantaneously came back to him, the type of person just from, and I don't know him personally, so don't think that I have some insight on this, but just from seeing him, following him, watching him, if you look at the way he talks, on any their YouTube channel when it was a thing, and then also on the interviews he's done, as well as Thea's Twitch channel. He's a very authentic person in general. Everybody can say that about him. He's one of these that if I make a commitment, that's the commitment I'm going to go. And he probably heard from a Tony Khan immediately. They had a real brief talk, or he heard anyway. There was like a handshake agreement under the whatever thing. He's like, that's what I'm going to do. Whenever I'm ready to negotiate, I'm going to do that. And WWE come back probably is like, oh hey, can we want to get you back? Like, no, I already know. I've already moved on, guys. Piss off. That to me is Tommy End. So. But the word of the thought is it's going to be Thea Trinidad, who. It's muddy if she was at the Performance Center once, and is she going back? Who knows? We don't know yet.
Yeah, fair. So the next piece right after this was Marvez trying to get with Hangman, and this has been a thing for a while. And after watching Being the Elite, I feel like there's some clarity about to come. So, short thing. Marvez asks, about the world title match. Hangman does his usual dodge and talks about the Dark Order.
He's been doing it for months. He's been with the Dark Order. He's been dodging anything to do with Omega or the Elite.
So the big thing that happened on Being the Elite, spoiler alert, if you've not watched it, stop now, watch it, and then come back to us. But
I gotta stay. That's right. Sorry, I gotta stay.
yeah. So 10 gets some super magical drug thing. Yeah, there you go. Already. And
oh God.
And then he's like walking and dodging a whole bunch of crazy shit that happens to get into the Dark Order
lair.
And then he literally gets in there and then like instantly trips and it goes everywhere. It's just this powder everywhere.
Everybody gets high.
Everybody gets high except for 10, which is great. And then so they show inside their mind of what's going on, like what they're looking at and everything like that.
God.
Like they do one with
don't tell me all of them. Just get to the good part about Hangman.
Okay, so Hangman's sitting there and like he's like freaking out, but then it shows him like with all the Dark Order there. Evil Uno hands him a bag. He grabs the bag and is holding it like this, and then they all separate, and then there's the AEW championship.
Long-term storytelling, folks.
On a separate show.
This is I mean, BTE is canon.
Yeah,
It really is.
BTE is canon. So
I mean, but this is what we've been hammering for, because it's like everyone's like, well, Dark Order doesn't need a leader. Yes, they do. You don't need to bring in somebody though to be that leader. You've developed this great thing. I still like my idea of Christopher Daniels too, but this is my original part that you and I were both in on.
Yes.
This long-term, all out, get the title, man up, take over the Dark Order. Please. That's great. That's great. That's a great bit of long-term storytelling.
yeah, so he had the bag, like Evil Uno gave him the bag. So there must be something in the bag that might be the signification of his ascension, if you will. And then he will get the title. So I think the long-term play has got to be him at All Out, which is right around the corner, right? That's what, in 2 months? 3 months?
Yep.
And that's their next pay-per-view.
September 5th.
So 2.5 months. Yeah, I think that is the play, and this is the ascension to that. Thank you, 10, for the drugs. One thing. Okay, so I'm not gonna tell you about all of them, but like all of them got high. 5 was in the room. And 5 sees them all just mess up. He's like, "All right, well, I guess I'll go away. See you guys next week." Like, it's so good. Like, this is one of the better Being the Elites, just period. Like, I love it. But anyway, that gives you some foreshadowing there.
Okay, good.
All right, next match is Penelope Ford versus Julia Hart with the Varsity Blondes. Blah, blah, blah. Penelope Ford wins, but that is not the story whatsoever. Miro comes out. And Miro legit.
God bless Miro.
Yeah, Miro comes out and he's like, he's sorry about her husband, and he's defending her honor all of a sudden, and he just starts beating
the guy who
shit
put
out
her
of
husband on the shelf is defending her honor.
Yeah.
I love this.
And he beat the shit out of the Varsity Blondes. Like, bad.
This, I don't know how not everybody in the world can't just be in love with this Miro, because I love every second of him on the screen. It's great.
Yeah, yep, love him.
Right, love him. So we have one more match. Let's finish this up.
Okay, so hold on. So Britt Baker does an interview, but Vicky Guerrero comes in. Nyla and her fighting June 30th. Okay. Sure. FTR does a video package, and Santos Ortiz are hyping themselves up as the best tag team. Blah, blah, blah. Is actually pretty good. Jade Cargill, Mark Sterling, don't care. All right, so then we're at the main event. This was a good match.
This was a good match.
Frankie,
And I would expect this to be a good match.
you'd expect it to. Frankie Kazarian, Penta, and Eddie Kingston versus the Good Brothers and Matt Jackson. No Nick. Nick was in the back. Ish. Ish.
Not for
So,
long.
yeah, so this match had damn near everything you wanted. Like, if you wanted flips and shit, you got flips and shit. If you wanted power moves, you got power moves. It legit had everything. Eddie Kingston doing great Eddie Kingston work. Penta being Penta. You had the
Being
Good Brothers.
Joker Penta.
Yeah, Joker Penta. Yes, he was in his Joker,
I
garb.
love that garb.
Yes, that's definitely a great one. So the big thing is, I'm not going to go through the entire match because there's so much we can get into, but the ending was basically Penta climbs up to the top rope. He's going to do a move onto Nick, I believe. No, Carl Anderson. Sorry, Carl Anderson. He's going to do a move on Carl Anderson. And then out of nowhere, Nick Jackson comes flying in there and sprays him with the spray in the face.
The cold spray. Yeah.
Yes, and then Penta's blind. Carl Anderson hits a super cutter. 1, 2, 3. The winner is the Elite.
Yeah. Somewhat predictable when you think about it, but this was an enjoyable match. In a night of, I mean, let's be honest, a lot of this was just kind of, I couldn't really get behind a lot of it, couldn't really get into a lot of it. And this match was good, but it took a long way to get there, I'm going to say. Even with the Andrade interview, because there's so many promos. I'm sorry. There's just a lot of filler. And I know that it's because it's Friday night.
Yep.
I understand that. But, yeah, it was a good match. It was cool.
Saturday should be better. I mean, they got the big marquee
Saturday's
matchup of
gonna
Jungle
be
Boy
better,
versus
yeah.
Omega, and you know that's going to be a banger.
Right, they've already got they've been selling tickets to it like a son of a bitch. And then
Yeah.
next Wednesday is going to be back the final Dynamite at Daly's before they hit the road.
Correct.
So we'll be back on next Tuesday. We'll talk about the Saturday night Dynamite. And then on Thursday, we'll talk about we'll be back in the AEW swing of it. It'll be an AEW heavy week, and I'm good with that.
Yes. Yes.
So and
please.
then starting next week, then we'll be back on the regular schedule with AEW on the regular schedule, where we'll talk about Impact and news and stuff on Tuesday, and then and NXT as well, and then we'll talk about AEW on Thursdays.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know we ran a little long tonight. There is one last thing I want to do here for you, though.
Okay.
So I came up with this because of two things. Not going to lie, I'm ganking this idea a little bit from our friends over at the Wrestling Perspective podcast because they did this with Ruby, and I really like that. But what got me really thinking about it was this past Thursday, June 17th, was the anniversary of one of the greatest promos the wrestling world, nay, the world, has ever seen. If you are not familiar with this, back in the days of TNA, post Hulk Hogan, before it got really bad though, because there was that little sliver there was decent, right? Hogan brought a lot of people over, right? And one of the people he brought over was Ric Flair. And Ric Flair immediately turned on Hogan the second he got into TNA. And he was going up against Hogan's faction. He had to make his own faction. So he created Fortune, which is AJ Styles, Beer Money, and Frankie Kazarian. And it was good. It was good. It was a Four Horsemen ripoff, but it was good. And then they became bad, and then became good and bad, and good bad, whatever. In the meantime, you had the man who would go on to be one of the most prolific Ring of Honor champions of all time. Was probably one of the best named finishing moves, Jay Lethal, using his lethal combination, which is still I love to death. He had morphed from Black Machismo to be a Black Ric Flair of sorts. No idea why. He just did. Because he's great.
It was so okay. Was this the
It
woo
was
off?
the woo off.
Okay.
It was fantastic. They're doing a promo, and then here comes somebody else wooing, and Jay Lethal comes out onto the ramp, and they just start going at each other. Jay Lethal takes off his shirt, his jacket, throws it down, does an elbow on the jacket. Ric Flair does the same in the ring. He's like, "You can't do me. You can't do me." And the woo off. One of the greatest promos ever. If you don't believe me, go watch it and tell me I'm wrong.
I remember
'Cause
watching
I'm
it
not.
live. I remember watching it live.
I do too, because I'm sitting there like, what is happening? What is going on? This is unbelievable. I couldn't contain myself. I'm just sitting there by myself, just like fantastic.
Yeah, he did that. He also did the Black Macho Man, which I thought was great.
He was Black Machismo before,
Yeah,
and
Black
he even had
Machismo, that's
SoCal Val was his Miss Elizabeth,
Yes.
and then Sanjay Dutt was his Jake the Snake. It was fantastic. Oh, but that's what TNA was it was a ham. It was great. So that got me thinking, and it kind of brought me to an idea, and I'm going to take what wrestling perspective, and I'm going to take it in a different direction.
Okay.
They said, "What are some of your favorite things of all time?" They asked him Ruby and and PD as well. And I'm like, "No, let's do this," because I love that promo so much. And that's one of the ones I can watch for all time. Let's say you end up on a desert island, and you're allowed 3 bits of wrestling, whether it is a match or a promo, any mixture thereof. You get 3, only 3, and that's all you can watch for the rest of your life.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, I told you I was going to surprise you. And while you're thinking about it, I'm going to go first. Okay?
Okay.
Match. And I'll choose 3. You got to choose 3 too. If you want to play cop out and say same, fine. But 3 each. AJ, Joe, Daniels 1. Destination 2005 Triple Threat X Division match. One of my favorite matches I have ever seen. Loved every second of it.
It's a good match.
It sums up the X Division in Impact so well.
Okay, match. Omega Okada 2 from Dominion 611.
Okay.
The 60-minute Iron Man match that went in overtime.
I figured you'd have that some variation of that in there, most
It is
definitely.
the greatest match I think I've ever witnessed.
And it's hard to disagree with that. It is very hard to disagree with that. I'm gonna pull it back a little bit, and this might be, I don't know, but I'm gonna go Hogan Warrior WrestleMania 6. My favorite match growing up as a kid. This is the one because I was a huge Ultimate Warrior fan. It's where he became the double champion. He beat champion versus champion at WrestleMania. He won the belt. It was my favorite match of my adolescence. So nostalgia's kicking me in there. I'd want to watch that. And it was like a 45-minute banger too.
Whew. I would have to I'm gonna have to go this one. Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold, WrestleMania X7.
Ooh.
That's the
Oh,
one with
so
Tyson.
good. Yeah. Now that's a good one. Now, as much as I want to go cop out and say all of NWO for the first year and a half, that's
Right?
that's a cop out.
It is.
And amazingly enough, knowing me, the fact that I'm omitting an NWO from my thing is going to be shocking. But I would pass on it for one thing and one thing only, and that is the final deletion.
Oh, that's good.
the one against Brother Nero.
Yes.
Where we met the dilapidated boat, when we met all the goodness that is Matt Hardy's mind. So that's me. All right, you got one more.
Okay.
It could be a promo if not a match. It doesn't have to be a match.
I feel like it has to be a match because, like, promo
He has
wise,
3 things left. Do you want to? Yeah, I hear you.
I mean, Eddie versus Chris Jericho.
I mean, you want to go way back. You could go like
Jericho.
War Games '87.
Jericho versus Mysterio for his mask.
How about Jericho winning the undisputed or the undisputed title?
You know, it was okay, but it was not his best moment. So, okay, okay. Can I have a series of matches because it was basically one match, the Chris Benoit versus Booker T best of 7 series.
I would allow that, yes.
Because that shit was bonkers.
That was bonkers. See, it's tough because then that opens up other thoughts that I had. I'm like, I remember the Motor City Machine Guns versus Generation Me, Young Bucks, you know. Their best of 3 that they had, followed up by a best of 5 between Machine Guns and Team 3D. Oh, that was good. Yeah. No, but I would.
Rhino versus Taz for the ECW championship back in the day. My God, when Rhino laid the belt right between them, and they just were about just to go at it, like both of them were just like had it shaking, and the crowd was nuts. Oh, I could feel that match.
I know, right? It's a tough thing. So anyway, we have our 3. You don't get to see that because you chose the series. So unless you want to switch it up. It's tough, right? Yeah, it's an impossible task.
Yeah, that's got it. Got it.
What's your third?
I'm an idiot. Michaels, Jericho, WrestleMania.
There you go.
That's 24. No, 22.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now that whole they blend together there up until about 25. It's all
that was one of the greatest matches, like technically sound, everything.
I mean, but this is funny thing is like there's no Stone Cold in any of our lists, and we know
I have Stone Cold
You
Cold
did?
Michaels.
Oh, that's right, you did have Stone Cold Michaels. Sorry, yep.
No Rock.
No Rock.
No
No
Rock.
Triple H. No DX. No NWO. Which knowing us is insane. There's no Sting. There's no Ric Flair.
No.
How
Flair.
did I not have Ric Flair?
I know,
Son of
like-
a bitch.
like-
God damn.
See,
the man
like-
I continually almost get tattooed on my leg.
Yeah. Like anything from the AWA days, like any of those promos. Just give me any of them.
War Games '87. I mean, I'm talking like not the second year of it. Oh my God! It was it was at the Omni in Atlanta. It was unbelievable. Oh, so yeah, it's a tough thing, right? But I thought it'd be a fun little game we could play, you know, because it goes to show you that there's so much out there, and we dog on stuff. And yes, you know, especially right now with everything going on, it's kind of that lull for the wrestling promotions, right? Mm-hmm. They're kind of getting ready to get back on the road. So they're definitely, you can feel them all just kind of building up. They're like inhaling, right? Mm-hmm. And hopefully it's gonna be a banger. But good times, good memories, good stuff coming. So, you like that game?
That was fun.
it was a good time. I'll tell you what. You guys get involved. Let us know. Hit us up in the comments down below or tweet at us. Let us know. Desert Island, you get 3 wrestling things: match, promo, vignette, whatever.
No,
3.
not a wrestler. Because if it was a wrestler, then my list would be completely different.
No, you can't just say like, you know, it has to be like a match, a promo, a like event like, you know, that's why I say by vignette, you know, a thing. Maybe it's not the right terminology, but
yeah,
you get 3 wrestling things. Let us know down below. Give us a tweet, either or. What are your 3 things you're taking to Desert Island? It's all you can watch wrestling for the rest of your life. It's an impossible question, I know, but let us know. I want to see what some of your responses are.
I mean, there's so many good ones out there. Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, Iron Man match.
Shawn Michaels Razor Ramon ladder match.
The ladder
1.
match, yes, the ladder match.
NXT New Orleans 6-man ladder match for the inaugural for the North American Championship. One of the best ladder matches I've ever seen.
The very first Money in the Bank. That thing was
very first Money in the Bank, the one at WrestleMania, the WrestleMania ladder match between. No, it wasn't even WrestleMania, but it was the first time that Edge and Christian, Hardy Boys, and
TLC, the very first TLC match. Oh my God! Yes, there's so many great matches.
Oh my God! There's an Ultimate X match that I would put up in there as well. The one where I think it was Jerry Lynn, Petey Williams, AJ Styles, or AJ got flipped over and turned upside down. He ended up, so good. Monsters Ball 2, the one where Jeff Hardy damn near decapitated himself doing the swanton off the top of the entrance.
Cleared by 3 inches, yeah.
Yeah, on Abyss. Oh my God.
There's so many good ones.
Shit, I mean, Sting, I would, see, I almost want to say, Sting versus the NWO could be a thing by itself.
Mm-hmm. Sting joining the Wolfpack was iconic. That was amazing. Too.
And as technically, it was not a good match, but it was one of like the highlight moments. To me, it was like the apex of WCW was when Goldberg beat Hogan for the title.
Yes,
that was a Monday Nitro that sold out the Georgia Dome.
Yes, the whole
70,000 people.
Yeah.
Not quite 70, like 60. But still.
There's so many good things, man. You go
back to the old school. I mean, there's no Andre the Giant in there either. We didn't have any Andre the Giant.
Yeah. The very first Royal Rumble with Andre the Giant.
No Royal Rumbles! Holy shit!
Yeah, there's so many good ones.
I mean,
Survivor Series. Like, oh my God.
And we didn't have a single women's match in there either, which is a crying shame.
Pick one of the 30 Ricky the Dragon Steamboat versus Ric Flair's.
Absolutely, yeah. How about Macho Man and Hogan? Turning on each other.
Oh, that was so good.
Oh,
Honky Tonk losing to Ultimate Warrior.
Ric Flair lasting the distance to win the title at the Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so many good matches. Let us know. We're getting way off topic.
Sorry,
yeah, we could go on for hours, and
Nostalgia.
We don't want you. Get us down below. Give us a comment or give us a tweet. Let us know what are your 3 things you would take with you to the desert island. So, all right, we might pick this up on Thursday because this is fun. I'll tell you what, this is the thing we got to ask when we have guests. We've been talking about having some guests on here, and so keep an eye out. We might be bringing in some correspondents coming soon. I mean, we no longer have the young boy, so maybe there's a young boy-ish position open. No, not really. But we are looking at bringing in some guests from time to time, so keep an eye out for that. We will be back on Thursday. We're going to talk about NXT coming up here, as well as whatever news has been going on here. I'm sure there's a bunch of stuff that's going to be happening in the next couple of weeks. Last time we're doing that on Thursday. That'll be moving to the regularly scheduled time next week. Next week's going to be a lot of AEW. Forewarning, next Tuesday's show is probably going to be a bit long like this one was. Mm-hmm. So we have that last AEW to talk about. And that's our bread and butter, so we're not going to just gloss over it, right? So we're going to talk about AEW along with everything else going on. And then next Thursday, straight AEW, like the way we should be, and then we'll be back on track. Tuesday, regular stuff. Thursday, AEW. Good to go.
Stupid sports playoffs.
I don't know, man. Well,
actually, they're really good right now.
Last night, you didn't see the hockey game, but my God, Tampa Bay just murdered the Islanders, and they responded by literally murdering or trying to murder some of the Isles. I don't know. It was entertaining as all.
Well, then freaking how about the Canadians giving the Golden Knights a freaking yeah, we can talk later. Never mind.
We will talk about that later. Okay. Thank you guys for joining us. We do appreciate it. We will see you on Thursday. Jamie, take us home.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. If you're not down with TS, I got 2 words for you. Dewdrop? Really?
That should be 3 words, but I digress.
I'm hopefully I set this up earlier where I was like, it's only 1 word.
Oh, dewdrop. All right, guys. We'll see you next time.
See ya.